Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today, what we're talking about are three ways to represent an equation. All right. Now, we've been through all of these ways, but we're going to kind of talk about why we're doing this. We're talking about an equation in multiple representations. That's the basic idea. Different ways you can see it. So, start off with using the table, write an equation. Okay. This goes back to what we did in our last two tests. Writing the equation of a line. As we know, it is written in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So if we are using the table to do this, well, real simple. You must find your slope and your y-intercept. Well, slope, again, change in y over change in x. Nothing different, same old, same old. So, using the table, if you're going to find change in y, right, 1 to negative 3 is negative 4. Negative 3 and negative 5 is a negative 2, and negative 5 to negative 7 is negative 2. Change in x, negative 2 to 0 is 2, 0 to 1 is 1, 1 to 2 is 1. So, for each one of these, change in y over change in x, if you do each one, you should get negative 2. So the slope of your line is negative 2. Y-intercept, well, you've got one of two options. The harder of the two is to make the process column. And you plug in mx plus b. So at this point, we got negative 2, we got 1. So negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. Minus 3 gives you your y-intercept. Your other way, as you've been taught, is to look to see where x is 0. Wherever x is 0, the y-coordinate is your y-intercept. Either way works, whatever you can do, right? So, write the equation. Y equals slope times x, and then your constant, your y-intercept, negative 3. So y equals negative 2x minus 3. Next thing is graph the line. Well, you got choices. In this case, you got choices. You can use the equation to graph the line, or you can plot the points, whichever you want to do. I actually prefer just using the equation. To me, it's even quicker than trying to find all the points. Because what I do is I start at my y-intercept of 0, negative 3. So 1, 2, 3. 0, negative 3. And I know my slope has to be written as a fraction, negative 2 over 1. So from there, I go down 2 to the right one, down 2 to the right one, down 2 to the right one. Well, then up to the left one if I need to get those. I know I'm going to get a line. There you go. So we've represented this by an equation, a table, and a graph. Right? And that all means y equals negative 2x minus 3. Next one. Given the point 4, negative 3, and a slope of 3/4. What we're going to do now is we are going to start off with graphing a line. Alright? So, let's graph the line. 4, negative 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, down 3. So start with that. Then the slope is 3/4. Well, as we've talked about before, slope of 3/4. Alright, change in y over change in x, that's a positive line, so it's going to increase. So we're going to go up 3, then to the right 4. So up 3 to the right 4. We got a point. Now, if we want more, we do the opposite. So down 3 to the left 4. Down 3 to the left 4. Down 3 to the left 4. Now, one of the reasons why I would do this is because if you have to write the equation, one of the things you need is your y-intercept, where the line crosses the y-axis. So, if it doesn't give it to you when you go through this, then you might need to go backwards to get to that point. So you can figure out what it is. So at this point, now you know what your y-intercept is. And the y-intercept in this case is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so negative 6. All right. Now you have all the information you need to be able to write the equation. To write the equation of a line, again, slope-intercept form. You need to know the slope, you need to know the y-intercept. Those are the two things you found. So you get y is equal to the slope, which is 3/4 times x, and then minus 6 for your y-intercept. So, the next thing is create a table of values. Well, That's one of the reasons why you put these points on here. You got 4 points. Now your choices are, you can plug this in the calculator and you can find those points. Or you can take the points you've already got on there. You've got one at -4, -9, 0, -6, another one at 4, -3, then another one at 8, 0. So we have now created a table from those values. Now I got all 4 of those on there. Okay? Alright, so now we have a new question here. What is the x-intercept? Well, I want you to think about this and kind of use your common sense. The y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. And one of the things we know about that is the x-coordinate is always 0. So I want you to think about the opposite of that. So instead of the y-intercept, the x-intercept. And just by logic, you should understand that the x-intercept will be where the line crosses the x-axis. Now, when writing the point, the nice thing about this is that you will know the y-coordinate is always 0. The y-coordinate is always 0 at the x-intercept because it's on the x-axis. Now, the point where the line crosses the x-axis is the point 8, 0. We've got it in a couple of different places. But I want you to be able to remember that. Right? The x-intercept is where the line crosses the x-axis. Be able to identify that. Obviously, we know the y-intercept now, where the line crosses the y-axis. All right. So, last one. All right. So, for the last problem, what we're going to do here is we are given 2 points. -6, 5, and 3, 2. We're going to represent this 3 ways. Given a line, equation, and a table. Now, the nice thing about given 2 points, you can always draw a line given 2 points. So to start your problem, go through, plot the 2 points. So start off with -6, 5. There's your first point. Start another point at 3, 2. There are your 2 points. Now, from that, if you're good or you have a straight edge or something like that, you can draw a line through that. Just like this one. And that works just fine. Now, if you're not one of those kind of people and you have some issues with that, I want to show you something else. I want to show you how you can actually graph this, or actually find the equation of the line, right, just given those 2 points. Again, writing the equation of a line. Slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. 2 things you need to know, slope and y-intercept. There are 2 ways for you to find the slope. It is up to you on how you want to do this. The first way, given the 2 points, you can make a table. -6, 5, 3, 2. And from there, you can find the slope. Change in y over change in x. This works out really good. From 5 to 2 is -3. From -6 to 3 is 9. So you end up with a -3 over 9 as your slope. Now, -3 over 9, that reduces. You can reduce that to -1 over 3. All right? It's not -3, it's -1 over 3. It is a fraction. All you do is you divide each of these by 3. That's how you reduce it. The other way is, as we've talked about before, the change in y over change in x. Count down 3 units, that's -3, to the right 3. Or 9, sorry, to the right 9. Either way works. And from there, you will notice down 1 to the right 3, down 1 to the right 3, down 1 to the right 3. You will get your line. Okay? So, from here, we've gotten our slope. The nice thing about what we have now is, given that line, you can write your y-intercept. Where the line crosses the y-axis, right there at 0, 3. All right? So, from there, we can write the equation of the line. Y equals -1/3 x plus 3.
D1 Matthews, please come to the front office. D1 Matthew, thank you.
All right, so at this point, we're going to create a table of values. Start with your first one, -6, 5. We have another one here at -3, 4, You got your y-intercept at 0, 3. You've got another one here at 3, 2. You got some more you can write on there. But the big thing is, it asks you next for the x-intercept. Now, we didn't go this far to find the x-intercept. So what I highly suggest you do, especially if you have to make sure, count down 1 to the right 3, down 1 to the right 3, so that you can find out where the line crosses the x-axis. What I have a lot of people do is they'll draw all the way up till here, then they stop, and then they try to just guess what it should be. Actually do the stair steps all the way down until you get to that x-axis. All right? So, as you can tell, this line crosses the x-axis at 9, 0. Alright, so, those are our 3 ways of actually describing an equation, a graph, and a table. Alright, so, we'll have some assignment on it the next day. Have a good evening, guys. Bye.